Hi everyone, this is BDevine and I'm going to make sure my volume's right up. Right up. Okay. Today is a really important day, and it's important because of something that I'm going to do in front of everybody. Okay. So this is a big thing in my own journey as well. So let me explain. If you've just come here, my name's BDevine and I have been online since 2009. I've been doing this work since 1990, working with spiritual beings, my spirit guides, my spiritual light team comprised of my ancestors and angels and anyone that works with me from the divine and from the light. I've been teaching for a long time now and now have created my own spiritual academy because I don't want to be affiliated with any big names of any kinds, right? I have to stay completely doing this by myself. Just one second. I have been doing messages for you daily for a long time now, and I have showed you for free many different methods of how to connect with your particular spirit guides, your angels especially. I've written a book called Angelic Guidance, and there's more where that came from. And as I said, everything I do is self-funded. I don't get given anything for anything that I do. It's all given for humanity. Now, through my own work, I have been able to expand my abilities over the years. And this is what I'm also able to teach you to do, and to mentor you to be able to lift your vibration, to move past any physical issues that you may be going through, and lift yourself into a new energy, a new timeline where none of that exists anymore. And you start a whole new pathway for yourself. Happy, settled, secure. And if you're not happy, settled, and secure, and you don't have the things that you're really longing for in your life, I can help you to get there as well. So basically, my pathway is that of being a messenger. Okay, I don't claim myself to be anything in particular at all, other than an average person with a crappy life history, okay, a terrible childhood, who is probably just like you in more ways than you might think. But I'm telling you now that the work that I do and the constant declarations, constant meditations, they're not focusing on everybody else's BS and continually focusing on my pathway, has opened up a new aspect that's probably a very ancient aspect, because that's what we're here to do, remembering our ancient selves. And because of this, it has brought through tremendous healing. And because of this, I was actually able to use this upon myself in my life and understand a lot more about why I've chosen to be so determined in this life to show people what they can do. One thing I've learned to do recently is to pull back from the result. So for example, I might have been way too much trying to get you to do something, or I teach you something and I'm way too invested in your outcome. Not anymore. Now, the energy is of giving the message and you do what you want with it. But it's going to have a consequence either way. For example, if you're given the advice on how to heal and you don't take it and instead go back to everything that you were doing before, you're not going to heal. It's just how it's going to work. If I give you the information about your past life and you can look it up and you can find your own history in it and see for yourself, and you still don't want to believe it, I can't do anything for you. You see? This one today is about the Akashic Records. Again, something that I'm going to teach. My friend said to me, you need to teach an entire semester about it. And most likely, I'm going to have to. Because I believe I have stumbled across something that perhaps I was looking at before, but wasn't really opening it right up like I could have been doing. So for example, I am always told that the angels, spirits, your guides, they don't limit you and tell you an exactness of a situation, okay? They can tell you and give you advice, and they can give you guidance, but it is up to every single soul who has free will what they do. Recently heard somebody say that the angels can stop someone from being in your life if they're not really holding up their end of the bargain. No, that's called lessons. And it's everybody has got free will. No one, the angels are not going to come in and say, you know what, this person is really driving you mental. I am going to stop them from being in your life. That is not what's going to happen. Everything that you do, you must ask for. And if you're asking for a release of the wrong people in your life, then that will happen naturally, right? Now, what I used to do before was be very careful about what I would say, how I'm saying it. Don't want to upset this one, don't want to upset that one. Make sure I'm saying this, make sure I'm not limiting. It was too much pressure. It's too much pressure. I know that I am going to be given information that you need, that the world needs, okay? And I know that I am completely protected while I do so. And you will be completely protected as you listen, okay? So if this video has found you, you might need to pay attention. So I figured out a way of opening up the Akashic records and looking at the past, which is what most people do. We look at the past. We've got multiple volumes of information there. Also looking at the future. And the possibilities of the future are literally endless. Okay? So what that means is that what you decide to do today may be different to what you decide to do tomorrow, and so on and so on and so on. So your timeline is constantly just moving back with what you're saying that you want on that particular day. So how can we possibly predict world things, world events? It's very difficult in a sense that there cannot be exactness. If you think about Nostradamus, for example, he spoke in quatrains, which were basically 4 lines of information which really made no sense at all. However, as things were broken down over time, it started to figure out, oh, it might mean that. Well, it could have mean that. It could have mean 50 things. So he wrote it like this so it could be interpreted by the many. That's not limiting someone. You get what I'm saying? If I sat here and said, you must listen to me about your future because this is going to happen, then that's kind of scary at the same time. So it really is a fine balance here. I want to be able to open up the Akashic record for the world, and I'm getting a tingle right in the center of my head, and trust that what's coming out and what I can see, because all of my senses are open, as are yours. But what you may find is that something is clearer than the others. For me, my claircognizance was always clearer, like a clear knowing. I didn't really need to see anything. Now I'm seeing, hearing, sensing, perceiving, knowing everything, all at once, all abilities at once. But it usually happens when I've asked for it in a particular situation. I'm doing someone's reading, I want all my senses open. I'm doing the Akash for somebody else, it's open. To the point that I can pinpoint things for people. Pinpoint behaviors. Pinpoint problems that happened in the past and why they're struggling with things now. Places, names, situations that can be looked up and you can find that energy. Now, that's great. Why? Because it gives someone validation of what they were feeling all along. And also gives them some kind of interesting aspect into who they are. Now, what is the world going to do? See, like I've got the world behind me right now with a light shining on it. There is going to be a timeline that you are going to need to choose. The timeline that I'm going to be focused on, okay, the energy that I'm going to be focused on is going to be based upon spiritual practices. But anything else that comes in that I need to share about what I can see around this world from the Akash, I know that I'm going to be careful about what I say. I know that I don't like to do predictions, so to speak. Okay, I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. I'm simply trying to offer some peace in this world of crazy. Okay? And also to show you that you too can open up your abilities to a point that you can feel comfortable doing something that you were always uncomfortable doing. That you can have the confidence to do this as your work all of the time. And it is not by any stretch of the imagination just you sitting back and all the money's just raking, all the people want to talk to you, because believe me, it's not that way. This, if you're into this for money, you're in the wrong business. Just saying. Money is manifested through other ways, because this is about giving. One day, all the students that come and all the training that you all have, this world is going to have an even different vibration, which is why I had to start my academy. Unfortunately, there are people who are in fear and look away, and that's okay. All right, so I am going to go into an Akashic record for this world, for this globe. I will go with what I am instructed to tell you. I will tell you what I can feel, sense, hear, perceive. I will explain as much as I can, and this is not going to be a fearsome, scary thing. If anything, it's going to tell you how you can shift your energy to amplify what we're trying to bring into this world. What it is that you want to see. Don't you want to go back to having fun, relaxed walks down the street at night if you want to? Doors left open because no one's going to break in. Don't you want to go and just be able to travel in peace and not spend an arm and a leg on taxes and this and that and something else and something else and something else and something else, and it constantly keeps on going and going and going? Okay? Because there's going to be a split. Because I know that there is a negative timeline. I know it. And many people are sitting on it, watching every step of it like that. Oh, have you heard? Have you heard? Or there's another way. Okay? Now, again, use your own discernment in your own damn life. Okay? You don't need anybody to tell you what to do. You don't need anybody to support you in your beliefs or your whatever it is that you love or whatever. That has to also leave, because it's another form of dividing, of judgment as well. We're just going to let everybody do what they're doing and focus on ourselves. And pretty soon they're going to say, hey, how are you doing what you're doing? Then you've got the opportunity to tell them. Okay? So, in order for the Akashic records of the world to open up, I'm going to take us through a declaration. And that's just because you're listening. And then I'm going to be going into my own thing for a little minute with my eyes closed. And then I'm going to just start talking. And I can even open my eyes when I do it as well. So, okay. So forget catastrophes and all of that stuff. Let's just see what's going to come out here. I'm opening up the Akashic records of the world. And I want us to be protected as we do it, okay? So I'm going to teach this in a great length, how to do it. But I'm not just going to give it away. I'm telling you that right now. Because people will use it in the wrong way. And then those records are going to shut down. So let's close our eyes. Let's just get into a place of receiving here. As a sovereign being of light, I hereby give permission for my spiritual light team, my higher self and source energy, to be with me and work with me right now. I'm asking for a complete alignment within my body and my energy centers. I'm asking for a connection into the center of the earth and universe. And I'm asking for a pillar of light to begin to flow, sending healing, wisdom, truth, and answers for me. I'm also asking for a triple shield of protection to be placed around me. This triple shield of protection also brings me into an invisible field, so no negative energy can see my energy. And any negative energy and hate being spewed towards me, I hereby transform into positive energy. And this constantly happens. I'm asking for the angels to reinforce my triple shield of protection and protect me in all directions of time and space, throwing this shield of protection around my past, around my present, and around my future, and around the globe. I ask for this to be done, and so it is. Now I am going to move into my own little method, okay? And then I'm going to just start talking. Okay, I am feeling a vibration from head to toe. I'm seeing a blue, green, silver, extremely large book. The first thing I see is great beauty. There's multiple things going on here at once, okay? We are going to have to, from what I can see here, make sure that we're spending at least an hour per day amplifying the energy of nature, so protecting and connecting with the energy of nature, because the colors that I can see here, the light energy across the planet is stunning, but it is not activating correctly because we're just spending more and more time indoors. I'm seeing a great storm. The sky, really, really dark. And I feel that there will be a sensation of a clean, it's like a clean sweep is what I'm sort of sensing here. Something happens really gently. And we're waking up now and we're feeling different. and we're having restlessness, and we're having different experiences occur because we are sort of up and down on this trajectory of the new timeline. It's sort of like we're trying to merge into it, and it is shaking around a little bit. The earth is not going anywhere, folks. This is gonna be here. There is too much that still needs to occur for this planet, and it's not this planet's ascension so much as it is our own ascension on it. Because the message that I'm getting is that you need to be able to ascend while you're in the shit that's basically in the heaviness of it. While everything is wrong, you still need to be able to ascend. While everything is not as you want it to be, you still got to rise above. While everything is falling apart, you've got to put the pieces together. There seems to be a powerful message here of like, I've opened up this book to, it seems like it's October 2023. And there are going to be rumblings across this planet of people, as I said, split into two. So people who are really, really pushing a frightful narrative here. There are going to be, no doubt, things that happen with weather. And I can guarantee you that this is not normal weather patterning and is generated. This is also, okay, so it's like anything that has been created, let's just say. This is super powerful. I'm going to open my eyes. Anything that's been created as weaponry against the earth and its inhabitants. Anything that has been created as weaponry against earth and its inhabitants is going to be destroyed. Many things have already occurred that have made it far less advanced, far less critical, far less dangerous, even though it seems pretty bad. It's lessened a lot because things have already occurred from the lifting of humanity. Now, there's going to be a massive uncovering, unveiling. October, there's going to be intensity or some kind of it feels like I want to say broadcast because it's not really the right word. There's a message that is given, and there's going to be two different messages that are given, and one is going to be on a negative to instill fear, and one's going to be more positive, and it is there to instill truth. You're going to have to discern what your truth is. It feels like there's a surge in you see, I don't want to, this is the thing, because I'm seeing both things happening at the same time. So I'm thinking the best way to do this is to tell you the negative and give you the positive, or tell you the one side of it and give you the other side of it, and it's up to you what you listen to. Does that make sense? Okay. There will be stories of increased people who are unwell. There will be stories of a new strain, but it's more than what we've had before. And this is going to be inflicted on the people. This is not something that's just a new strain of a virus. This is something else. The same way that they can inflict weather, they can inflict this. And they're trying to do this because of people like myself and you who know the secret. And the secret is to stay in a high vibration, because that is the way out. Keep in a lower vibration, keep listening to the news, keep listening to the broadcasts, keep listening to the fake anything that don't give a crap about anybody's health, don't care really about you at all. The idea is to eliminate as many people as possible, and they're going to really put on a show, and it seems to me October. You know what to do to counteract this, okay? You know how to protect yourself. You know how to lift your vibe. Stay in joy, okay? Stay in joy. The world is going to start to see, because of all the crazy, in October, there is a, I want to say reckoning. There'll be so many ridiculous events, so many lies right in your face, so many stumbles and falls with world leaderships, that it is just too, it's not even hilarious, because it's dangerous, because there are still a great number of people who hang on every word that anyone who they perceive to be in a position of power says, and whatever the media says as well. But there is a ton more of us that what they were trying to do is going to have the opposite effect. What they were trying to do to humanity for its last and final throw can be changed. You see, I feel like that's been said before. The Middle East is going to play an important role in the future. I was telling my husband about this at one point, but I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but there's a blue-eyed person who is very, very evil. This person is in that area that I just mentioned. And that will come forward a little bit more later for people who are focused on apocalyptic stuff and all this, that, and the other. This person would hold a lot of the traits. Now, there's advancements here as well. So, not just weather anomalies, a lot of water. Unfortunately, Hawaii, again, unfortunately, Florida, unfortunately, California, a lot of coastal places, up far north Queensland in Australia, like there's going to be some serious floodings. Again, it will have the opposite effect that it's supposed to have of bringing people apart. Instead, it's going to bring people together, just like Lahaina in Maui. It's going to be something like this again here. Again, we will see this for what it is. We can also avoid a lot of the real damaging stuff. You see, because we know that there's always climatic changes. We know that there's always weather things that happen. But we also know now that there is weaponized weather things. This is not a conspiracy theory. They have the technology to do anything they want. This is why I don't get why people don't get that part. But in the Akashic Records, it's telling me two stories, actually more than two, but two main themes of a focus on darkness or a focus on the light, a focus on lower vibration or higher vibration. If you focus on the lower vibration too much, you will increase the effects of things that take place. You will increase the problem. Just like you do in your own life. When you start focusing on a problem for too long, you don't solve anything, you just make a bigger problem. The same thing. This is what I'm instructed to tell you. Okay, I can give you an individual viewpoint of your particular life and show you the best possible outcome for you. I've done this before. But when I'm looking at this, I'm trying to focus on October. Maybe I'll have to do one of these a month or something. But I feel like a lot of us are going to lose contact with each other, not in a bad way. Okay? It's just something that needs to take place for a minute. There's also going to be a lot of interference in your electrical stuff. You got to make sure you have backups for things, just as a general precaution. If you don't need it, you keep your vibration high enough, you're set. If you do need it, you've got it there. Back yourself up. Just back yourself up with little things. Spending time outside, dedicating the earth, like cleansing the earth with your own thoughts and ways of doing it, putting crystals in the ground again. All of you who have some Lemurian crystals, put them back. Put them back. All this, I've got all this, energy. Well, it's no good sitting on your shelf. I have a few that I work with most particularly. The rest, going back in the earth. Or, putting them on my website or whatever, so you can use some and you can put some back. They need to go back. It's half the problem. The crystals have been coming up out of the ground and they needed to stay where they were. There is a cure for everything. It's already there. It's already available. People are seeing that certain social media things are negative because they see people taking the time, and the other side of that is that there's going to be information that's only going to be available to people who are looking at the right places. The way out is going to be given to you, and that is what I'm telling you. That you must not lower your vibration. You must not let yourself spiral. Because between now and February 2024, one thing after the other in the worldwide sense will be there to upset you. Don't look. If you're not watching anything on the news, how would you know what's going on? Stay grounded and protected. I just got confirmation of the water thing. So we are going to have to look at it as a cleansing as well. That there is more behind every weather anomaly. There's more behind it. Okay? There's record-breaking things that have been taking place this year. You'll see more of it. We already have what they're calling a war between you-know-who and you-know-who, right? But that's not what really, it's not what we really have to pay attention to. We have to pay attention to the M-E. Not going to say it. And we have to pay attention to the Eastern countries, let's say, the Orients. And we have to pay attention to the Eastern coast of, and the West coast of the USA. And I keep seeing these booms, like thunder, but it's more coming from below. The booms, these things are just being blown up. So in places where it's causing attention, but again, protecting a lot of people at the same time. There's a reason behind these booms. I feel like I really need to be careful about what I'm saying, and I don't want to have to be careful about what I'm saying. But this is not what, it's not what people have been talking about for years and years and years. It's something else. And it's there to frighten people into submission. There is a vibration surrounding, my husband's coughing back there, sorry guys. There is a connection with the people that are coming in as well to the United States in the droves. There's a reason why they're setting this into motion as well. Again, focus on things that you want to see. Closure and safety for the homelands. All homelands should be safe and protected. There should be people that are allowed to come in and migrate, however, doing it fairly, the right way. Just like I was already a citizen, I had to come in the right way. Everybody's got to do the right thing again. We can't let ourselves get caught up in we're not wanting to hurt this one or that one's feelings, so we're just going to let this happen and that happen. And then when we want protection, we're expecting everybody to come and look after us, and it doesn't work that way. So it's like I can see these placements across the globe, right? Of that's happening over there. Big bang over there. Big problem over here. Canada's going to be in the news again. Australia as well really need to get it together. There's going to be eventually a change in leadership, which is bringing about a peaceful energy, but that won't be right away. While we're in the thick of things changing hands, and we're in the thick of the takeover of, we're trying to get rid of people on the earth, right, because of overpopulation or whatever. While we're in the thick of all of that, we have to maintain that we have our blinkers on and we're focused on where we're going. Because I am seeing that if you do not, you will get caught up in it. If you do not, things will fall apart for you in one way or another, and it's going to be harder to grasp your way back because you fell for something. You gave in to something, okay? You rushed into something, and that's the other thing too, don't rush, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of people who are panicked in October 2023. I'm just going to focus on October. I might do this each month. As I open up the record for the world, it's enormous. It's not like when I look into the energy of someone's life and give you advice about your life and what might take place, etc., because of the energy behind it. This one's different because, like I was telling you in the beginning, there's this lower energy and there's a higher energy. It doesn't mean you're above anybody. It's just that you're lifting your vibration higher. What lifts your vibration the highest is joy. So you really need to focus on this. Complaining? No. Worry? No. Addictions? No. Having things in moderation? Sure. Having a really good laugh? Sure. Spending time in nature, taking hikes, camping, going back to having little fires and sitting and, burning all the crap into the fire and cleaning out your area and decluttering. Get away from the TV. Get away from the broadcasts. Get away from anything that's telling you something is really negative. Get away from fear tactics, because those are going to increase, unfortunately. I feel like there's an important I'm not allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say exactly, but there is 2 prominent losses for October. And they're saying at least 2, but 2 prominent losses for October 2023. Don't give in to any fear at all. Be very, very strong. I would really suggest that if you don't know, whether you can be strong or if you can be focused, that you do really consider working with me or working with anyone who's helping you to stay strong. See, there's plenty of people out there who do this work that do not get recognized. And that's the entire point of this dark infiltration, even into the light. That you're programmed only to look at people who make a lot of money or who seem to be really, really with it and have it all. That's why many people look at Hollywood stars and they compare themselves to them, because that's the life that they want. And this person has it. But if you had something that you wanted to share with the world, wouldn't you like it to be based upon your merit of sharing, or what you own? Your merit of sharing or what you own? See? So people are going to start to notice more clearly the truth behind the deception of the limelight. The truth behind the deception, what we've been made to believe for a very long time. And that's going to be the slip up of the people themselves. You will also find in your own personal life that people who are not as they appear to be are going to slip up, and you're going to catch them in that energy. So you're alerted to things. And I encourage you to be asking for your spiritual light team to alert you to any problems, making sure that you're in a place of receiving so that you're not alerted to things that are good for you as being a problem. That's what happens to a lot of people as well, is they are not in their place of protection and their head's spiraling about someone, and all of a sudden they're against the someone that's good for them. Seen it happen too many times to count. And then when they finally wake up, it's too late. Okay? People are going to be like that also. They are going to play in to people's narratives and ideologies or whatever, and oh, I know more than this one or that one, and they're going to play it up. Okay? And you're going to have to really, really discern in your heart of Hearts. What's the truth for you? Because, even some people who, no, I'm just being told that some things you're going to have to figure out yourself, and that's okay. But I'm going to look back at this peaceful energy across the globe. Okay, so I'm going to look at that. Before, I'm just going to point out some things. So, West Coast, East Coast, Florida. We see things in the Middle East. We see things in the Orient. Okay, we're still going to see this nitpicking between. I can't say people's names because YouTube will cut me off. So the two people that are at it at the moment, right? The P person and the Z person who was just here recently traveling away. So all the things that are taking place, and no one has been calling for peace, they've just been feeding it. There's more that will come about here. And everyone is just going to be, unfortunately, pretty annoyed, pretty angry, pretty disgusted. They're going to be mourning the loss of the people that they've lost because of other people's greed. I know that that's what's happened to myself and my husband personally. So we do take this really personally. But at the same time, understand that anger and vice doesn't get us anywhere closer either. The shock and awe tactic works really well for the negative, and that is going to be used again. Australia is going to go through another increase in security and health, safety, and all of this, back to locking down the peoples more severely. New Zealand also, very quickly. So they are going to have to also understand their own ways of living can be adjusted so that they don't need to rely on anything from the government at all. If you can be self-sufficient, you don't need anything, you're not waiting for anything, you're not affected by anything either. A lot of people have been too reliant for a very long time on government payments, and that's just how it's been set up in the UK, Canada, and most of the Commonwealth countries. There will be things that come to light about this. It will stretch further than October though. So be vigilant. I believe in Australia. I mean, obviously that's where that's my love, that's my home country. And it's been very sad for me to watch the events happen to my own children over there that I cannot go to. And I believe, though, in Australia's and the Australian spirit, that they can fool you once, okay? But it seems like not a second time. So there will be a fight, a pushback. There's going to be a pushback globally, because things are going to, in a sense, intensify. Now, I want to focus on what else I saw and the peaceful energy here. We must be aware that things are there to see what humanity will do, that we still have a choice, even through chaos, of how we choose our mind, where we choose that to go. Now, some people will come and they will take from you, and they will take away whatever it is that you've built up, and they'll try to make something of their own also from things that you've done. And that won't work either. There's going to be a fall of that sort of knocking someone out the way so that you can stand up. You know, that bully syndrome of even through work and through life, and even in this work, unfortunately, people will knock you out of the way to stand on your shoulders and get ahead. That's sort of the way things are going, where everything's just nutty and everybody's just doing whatever they want and not wanting to hurt anybody's, you know, feelings by cracking down on things and bringing back order. That is going to escalate, so that you're going to have to be ready on an internal level to be strong spiritually, mentally, physically, in every way, so that nothing that is happening can stop you from what you need to be doing. That is going to be your true key. If you cannot get things together when it's not even that bad yet, okay, get it together. That is the message that has been given to me for a very, very long time now, that you must be strong in the face of adversity. You must keep on going on with what you believe in. You must be the messenger, even though it's going to be really difficult for you to get the message across the way things were all those years ago, and even the way things are now. Because there's so much BS around, it's not even funny. The peaceful energy. For 2024, I kind of just want to focus on that a little bit. By the second half of 2024, there will be a lot of things that even out. It's going to take some time for all peoples, like all humanity, to start to work together, and just to be more, just to be kind, and just to have joy, less stressed and less judgmental. So there's going to be this energy of a wave of, it's like a wave of light, but it's not so much that this big light is going to boom down on the earth, and it's a wave of lights that we are, right? And we're able to push that light, and we're able to connect with that light, and we're able to work with that harmony light. And we're focusing on ourselves and what we're projecting in this world. And this changes everything. Everything. Your timeline will split away from the one that is warring and the one that's troublesome and the one that's stressful that we used to be involved in. And maybe you're feeling this sensation of a little bit of dizziness now as your mind is trying to pull away, but then you're sucked back into the reality of paying your bills. That's not going to be the way of it for the light leaders and the light people who are harmonizing energy. All the people who are really focused on love and really want to help humanity, like really, really want to do it, rather than, yeah, I want to help so I can make a lot of money. The people that really want to do it will succeed beyond, and need to be ready for the people who want to learn. Because we're going to claim the world that we want, and it has to come with personal sacrifices that we've had, with pain, and with a sensation of being so sick of waiting for something to change for us, that we amplify the energy within. My job is to give you that amplification of energy. My job is to tell you, if you do this, this is the way out. If you do not do this, that's your choice. You go and do what you need to do for your life path. Okay? But if you work hard every day at understanding yourself, your focus, the way your mind works, whether it drifts away, whether it gets stuck on hating someone. How does your mind work? Because you're gonna have to harness it like that. Instantaneous. The higher frequencies have instantaneous healing. Why? Because they do not give a fraction of a thought to anything other than perfect health. The ability to move from one place to the other instantaneously happens. Why? Because they believe they can, and because they believe they can, they see it. Things that happen around you happen. Why? Because of your expectation. If your expectation is shit, that's what you see. It's just how it is. So people say, how do I clear yourself. Don't waste your time looking for someone to fix it for you, and learn how to fix it. Because this internet thing and all of that, okay, may not be the way that we transfer energy with each other in the future. It may not be the way we do it. So you want to be sure that you've got it right. Okay? So there's going to be I can see people of importance around the globe in a summit, some kind of deeper meeting. And the people that we have in front of us, and we think that we're looking at, the leaders, are just doubles. Because the real ones are in some kind of meeting, but it's a very heavy meeting. And they're fighting. Because truly one person wants to rule everything. They want to be the boss of everything and everyone. And they are discussing it. And it's ugly. And they are generating things in a sense that we see other things than that. So anything that we know to be true, that we see with our own eyes, is that's rubbish. You can clearly see someone who is completely different to what they used to be, and even look like, sound like, everything, but don't look at that. This has been truly a clone war. You're looking at Star Wars here. Think of it that way. Your truth is what matters. Your truth will become your timeline. Each one of you are being activated. Each one of you are being attuned and connected on a deeper level after this video. That is your gift for listening. Astrologically, people talk about all kinds of things, and it goes, and then they tell you, don't listen to that, listen to this, Vedic astrology. Don't listen to that, listen to Nostradamus and what he said. And Nostradamus talked in riddles because he didn't want to be exact. Even though through planetary movements and transits we can see, stuff that generate problems. Things that lift or activate different things on the earth. So we have to change the activations of the earth to be ahead of any astrological forecast. We have to change the way in which the planets are working through light in order to change the way in which they traverse through our universe, in order to change the way in which the earth shall respond. You need to think on that. That's the key. I will be teaching the Akashic Records and studying them and opening them and teaching you those things in semester 4 of my academy, because it's far too much to just give you a quick lesson and away you go. It won't work. So listen to the last thing that I said, because that is truly the key to all of it, the answer to all of it. I don't want to be known as anything other than a messenger of light. Someone's here that's to help you, to help yourself. That's it. And humble people, unfortunately, we don't get pushed up and shown to everybody. And guess what? It's because we can't be bought. There's many of you out there who have been doing this work and really never made anything from it, other than a whole big headache for yourself. You know, because you think that people would appreciate, but they don't. You have a very small fraction of people that appreciate, and you know what? They can amplify an entire universe. So I focus on the ones that are doing the work, because everybody else is just sitting, wasting time, going around in circles, seeing how they can be better than others, seeing how they can take from you, and then going over here and rubbing hands together and, you know, yeah, I've got it now, you know. I've got no interest in it. I've got no interest in people trying to manipulate me either. And I've done my own work, you know. And I've gotten stronger and stronger and stronger over the years, because you tend to do that when you're working online. And you're doing this thing, and you know, you have to keep on going with it. And you have to be yourself at the same time as you are flooded with information all of the time as well. And that is easy once you know how. So, focus on the energy of the planet. Focus on what it is you want to see. Forget the nonsense on the media. It's always been that way. What about the tabloids? What about them chasing Princess Diana around until she died? What about that? Were they telling the truth about her? Was the news always coming up with some story about somebody to make them look bad? Were they tainting the truth? How many celebrities talk about how they hate the TV week or whatever coming out because it's this exciting story on the front, and they're like, oh, did that happen? Really? But yet they will tout the general news to the people and stand behind it, and you need to do what you're told and all this BS, when they know themselves that when they're affected by it, they fight against it every step of the way. We need to remember what it was like, especially in the 80s. You know, remember the National Enquirer and everything. You know, story. And some of them were true in there. But because it was the National Enquirer, people thought it was just, that's rubbish. Let's look at TV Week. Oh my God, look, Women's Day in Australia, the new idea. Oh my God, my dad used to always get the paper out the front. Why? You know, my mother used to say, well, Rebecca, you need to know about the world around you. I'm like, well, the world that they want me to know about, not what's really happening. So, did you get what you needed to get? Did you get the answers here? If not, think about it. Go back and expand yourself on what I've said. Go back, take notes. Know that it's extremely hard when you're a very positive person to say, hey, this is, you know, occurring over here, but don't look at it. It's like someone says, now don't look at that big ear he has. And you're like, oh, what ear? Oh, yeah. You're going to look at it right away. It's hard when you're trying to do these things, because we know where our focus needs to be, on joy. Okay? And every time you go inward and you really ask for messages, every time you do that, you win. If you're going within and you're like, why do they treat me like this? And why is that happening? And how come that's taking... You're going to get energy moved away from you. You're going to leak energy. We need as much energy as we can within us. Okay? Pay attention to yourself, your property, your life. Focus on happiness. Focus on joy and create your own story. Because that will be the thing that shifts you away from all of this nonsense into a much more peaceful life. And even though you still may see or sense or know fragments of the lower frequencies that's going on, it doesn't affect you. Because spiritual mastery is all about mastering energy. And if you can do that, you can do anything. Okay? So if you need help with anything, you know where I am. I'm not going to bust out, here's my website. Okay. It's all there. You know where I'm at. Okay? You know where I'm at on social media. You know who's who. Okay? And follow it. Do it for yourself. Okay? Watch out for my newsletters where I show you, lots and lots of discounts, ways to do things, ways I'm helping you to get your business going. Okay? To give you the confidence to do that as well. Because we're going to need people, because just say that there's a whole new world. Okay? And there's only a few people who know how to do things. Are we all going to just say, well, I'm not going to ask? You're going to need to ask, okay, so you know what you're doing, because there's going to be people who need the help. And there are more people that need to be doing this, okay? There's room enough for all of us and then some, okay? So, let's see, okay? Sending you blessings. And I hope that this has been helpful. There is more, obviously, a lot more, but I'm not into fear-mongering of any kind. So it's a delicate balance, okay? And I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope to see you soon, okay? And until the next time. Let me know what topic you'd like me to pull out of the Akashic record, and I'll do a video on it, okay? Sending blessings. Bye for now.